everyone, it's John Tomino from In My Father's Kitchen. Welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you something a little bit different. We're going to be showing you an Italian-style breakfast. This is a breakfast that I grew up with, that my mom used to feed me with. And the way my mom learned this recipe was from my grandmother through my father, who in turn taught my mother, who fed me, and now I'm going to feed you and teach you. So come on over here, I'm going to show you what we got to get started with. I have here in a saute pan some marinara sauce. We have some Italian bread, and I have some eggs sitting here. A basic, simple breakfast. So let's get started, but I don't want you to freak out because I'm going to show you something untraditional, so watch this. We're going to heat up our marinara sauce here and make sure that it's nice and hot. And I had it a little bit started up a little bit earlier, so it is quite warm. You can see it starting to bubble. Once you see that it's starting to boil there, I want you to crack an egg right into the sauce, just like that. And now what you're going to do here is you're going to let that egg cook in the sauce. I like my eggs soft, so when I dunk my bread into the yolk, it'll break into the sauce, and you get this mixture of yolk and sauce. If you like your eggs a little bit harder, cook it a little longer, make that yolk a little firmer. So what you're going to do now is, the one thing you want to make sure is that the white part of the egg gets cooked. So what I'm going to do is just start spooning some of this hot sauce around the white part of the egg and make sure that it cooks all the way through. Now it might take a couple minutes. Like I said, it's been sitting here for maybe right now about a minute. It might take 2 or 3 minutes to cook this, but it's almost done. As I'm mixing this up, I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit, and I'm going to keep mixing the sauce over the top of the egg there to make sure that the white part cooks. I like the yellow part to be nice and soft. So see how I surrounded the yolk with the sauce? So that hot sauce is now cooking the white part of the egg. And there you have it. So now, that's just about how I like it there. I'm going to shut the heat off. I have my spatula here, and we're going to just put it right on the plate. So I'm going to put it down, let it fall off. There you go. One sunny side egg, marinara style. What I'm going to do is put my Italian bread here, my Italian bread there. Now I'm going to show you what happens when I dunk my bread into the sauce here. Into my egg, I'm going to break the yolk, just like that, mix it with my sauce, and eat my bread. There you have it. One untraditional breakfast, Italian style. Which brings us to John chapter 21, where Jesus fed the disciples breakfast by the sea. The story goes kind of like this, that Peter and John and a couple disciples decided to go fishing. So they go fishing this night, and they don't catch anything. They try all night to catch fish, and they couldn't catch one piece of fish, one fish at all. So as they're sitting there in the morning, kind of depressed, thinking they didn't catch anything, they look to shore, and they see a man standing there, and they don't realize actually, that this man is Jesus. The man calls out to them and asks them how their night went. Did they catch anything? And they said no. So this man tells them to cast their net on the right side of the boat and go for a catch. So they cast their nets down the right side of the boat, and guess what happens? The net gets filled with fish. So much fish that they couldn't even bring it in. But the amazing thing is that the net didn't break. So at that moment, John realizes that the man was Jesus and turns to Peter and says, "Peter, it's the Lord." Peter got so excited, because this is after the crucifixion, now they haven't seen him. He gets so excited that he puts on his tunic that he had taken off to do the fishing and jumps out of the boat and starts swimming to shore. Well, he swims to shore, and the rest of the disciples bring in the fish with the boat that they were on, and they meet Peter at shore. When they get there, Jesus has a fire going with coals. He has fish on the fire with bread right next to the fish. Jesus makes them breakfast. An untraditional kind of breakfast. But here's the awesome thing. They sit down around that breakfast, and they allow Jesus to start talking to them. And Jesus asks Peter 3 times if he loved him. Now we know the reason why he asked him 3 times if he loved him is because of the fact that Peter denied Jesus 3 times. So the Lord gave Peter opportunity on 3 different occasions to say, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." You know what? If Peter never sat down at that untraditional kind of breakfast, and never had breakfast with the Lord, he would have never became the disciple that we know today as the Apostle Peter. We never got the book of 1 Peter and 2 Peter if Peter didn't sit down and have breakfast with the Lord that morning. The Lord blessed Peter by the words that he spoke into his life. And Peter gained confidence as he sat there and had breakfast with the Lord and allowed the Lord to serve him the word that came to change his life. I'm here to tell you today that just like I made you this untraditional breakfast today, we need to be able to sit down with the Lord at the table every morning, every lunch, every dinner, every snack, and have a conversation with the Lord and allow the Lord to serve us his word. And guess what? That word that comes to our life might be untraditional. It might not be what you're expecting. But the one thing I can tell you is, it's good. The word is always good. The word will always change our life and allow us to become who that we need to become, just like Peter became all he could become. I'm here to tell you, God is good. Jesus wants to sit down and serve you breakfast. Will you allow him to do that? Well, this is John Tamino from In My Father's Kitchen. Now, I want you to hold on 1 second. I'm going to say my tagline here. Taste and see that the Lord is good.